If you don't know, you're about to know right now. You're about to learn. Education. I'm Quindell Evans, BluePoetTree.com, and this is the Blue Poetry Podcast, where we speak about healing, affirmations, poetry, music, success, goals, and get into it. You feel me? Them. This is your chance and your opportunity, and I welcome you to watch me grow as a person, as a man, as an artist, as a businessman, as a person, as a human, as a friend, wherever I am to you, I'm allowing you to watch me grow, I'm allowing you to witness my growth. So I self-reflect on many topics. Today, we're doing an affirmation. And then we're going to discuss this affirmation and what it means, And this affirmation today is specifically about, team playing, like being able to work with others, being able to work well with others. This affirmation is specifically about being a team player, being fit to work with others. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. How does being a team player, affect your success in the long run? Because I feel like relationships is important, and I'm going to start off with an affirmation, and then I'm going to explain it, and if you don't know why I do these affirmations, it's because I needed to personally self-reflect, to get myself out of a low mental state that I was in. So I wrote affirmations for about a year, and after I realized how much this has helped me, think more positively and act more positively as well, I decided to put this in a book. And this book is called The Mouth Book, Messages of Uplift to Heal. Mouth is an acronym for Messages of Uplift to Heal. MOUTH, Message of Uplift to Heal. You feel me? So this podcast right now is inspired by The Mouth Book, Messages of Uplift to Heal. You have to check it out on my website, BluePoetTree.com. That's 3 words, the word blue, the word poet, the word tree.com. You feel me then? And today's affirmation is, I have flaws, and I'm far from perfect, but accepting myself for who I am helps me work well with those who I work with. One more time. I have flaws, and I am far from perfect, but accepting myself for who I am helps me work well with those who I work with. And once again, this affirmation is about being a team player, being a team player, relationships, working well with others. Part of working well with others is accepting your flaws, accepting what you're not good at, because if you're working with someone and there's something you're not good at, hopefully, you can allow that person you're working with to pick you up, to fill you in, to be good at what you're not good at, to help you out whenever you're lacking, to fill in the gaps that you have, and that's part of accepting your flaws. Personally, this is an affirmation I wrote when I realized, like, I was working with a group of people on the Pickup Poetry Project, and I was always wanting to take the lead. Always want to be the leader. Always want to direct it and guide it and show people this is what we need to do. We need to do this way and this that way. And what that did was leave me vulnerable to my own flaws. Leave me always wanting to take the lead and point us to where we need to go and not allowing others to lead, leaves me and the whole group, all the people I was working with, my team, leave us vulnerable to my flaws. Because if I'm not allowing someone to fill in my gap, if I'm not allowing someone to correct my mistakes, if I'm not allowing someone else to take the lead sometimes, then whenever I'm going in the wrong direction, everybody's going in the wrong direction. But if I am lost, meaning I don't know what to do at the moment, or if I have an idea that might not be fit for the moment, but I just want to do it my way anyway, then we're all going to suffer because of my ego. You feel me? We're all going to suffer because of my lack of humility, of just stepping back and letting someone do what I can't do, or do a better job at what I can't do as good as them, you know? So that's what this affirmation is about. I have flaws. Like, there's certain things I need to work on. I'm far from perfect, you feel me? I know that there's certain things I need to work on, and there's certain things that other people might be better than me at, and if I'm working with them, I might need to let them do those things that they're better than me at whenever it applies to the project we're working on, you feel me? And it helps you when you realize your flaws, you feel me? Like, I know it helped me when I realized my flaws, which is why I wrote this affirmation. I didn't write this affirmation out of like telling you need to work on your flaws, whoever you are. No, this is things about me that I need to work on. Stop always wanting to take the lead when I know that I'm lacking in that specific area. If it's a specific area I know that the person I'm working with can do better at leading, then step back, let that person lead. You know, like, just let people shine. You know, and I realized that what the effect it was having was on the people that I was working with was the times where they, you know, felt that they had a chance to express themselves, they would jump on it quick, you know, to try to beat me to the punch. You know, like, for example, it was a meeting we had, and I could tell the way that one of my teammates spoke about the project, you know, and how passionate they was about speaking about it, that it was like, let me beat Quindell to the punch, because when he gets on it, he's on it. Like, he could, you know, and what I'm trying to say is, like, if you don't let your child, you know, be free or do things at home that they like to do, then when they get the chance to do it at home, behind your back, they take it. Or when they get the chance to do it out in the streets or at school or with their friends, they do it then, because they can't, you know, it's like give people the chance, you know. Like, that's what this affirmation is about. You know, personally, that's what this affirmation is about. You might be able to spin it, you know, and apply it to your life in different ways, but, you know, like, I need to learn how to step back and give people the chance to express themselves, because if it's all about what I want to do, then I'm leaving myself vulnerable to my flaws, you know. So allow others to lead, and that's what I realized. That people was jumping on it, like, you know, they want to get ahead of me, you know, even though we all working together, and I'm not realizing that I'm causing this. You know, like, I'm causing this type of behavior where it seems like we're all competing when we're on the same team, you know. So, like, that's what I don't want. You know, I don't want to be competing with my own teammates. I don't want to be competing with my own co-workers. I don't want to be competing with my own employees or employers, whatever. Like, I don't want to be competing with the people that I'm working with. You feel me? So I have to accept my flaws and allow I have to accept my flaws and allow my flaws to be. I have to accept my flaws and allow my flaws to be. How do I say this? To be backed up by the people I'm working with. I have to allow my shortcomings to be, you know, I have to allow help. I have to allow others to help me, period. Like, whenever I need help, I have to allow people to help me. I can't always just be like, oh, I want to do it myself. And that may stem from personal past issues where I just felt like I always have to do things for myself type vibe. So I'm just ready to, like, do it for me, and then I don't need nobody help. You know, I don't depend on nobody, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But sometimes when I need help, I don't necessarily go and look for it or go and ask for it when it might be best that I should in the moment. So, like, I have to learn about myself. You feel me? This affirmation also means that, like, if you're not accepting your flaws, if you're not accepting, if I'm not accepting my flaws, then I'm not accepting totally who I am. You know, and in that part of myself that I'm not accepting, I'm not allowing to grow. You know, and if I'm not allowing myself to grow, then like I'm gonna always be flawed in that area. I'm gonna always be, you know, I'm gonna always be missing something, you know. And if I want to grow, then I have to work on the areas that need growth. You feel me? So like, I have flaws and I'm far from perfect, but accepting myself for who I am helps me work well with those who I work with. You know, and the people I work with are depending on me to come correct. You know, depending on me to always be me totally. You know, and that's a part of being a leader too, being totally you and allowing the people who you're working with to see your flaws, so that way they can know what areas you need help in, you know. And that gets to like never appearing to be perfect, you feel me? Because there's always growth that needs to be done first of all. So shouldn't appear to be perfect like we know it all, like, you know. And that is a thin line between like having faith and confidence and belief in yourself that you're gonna make it and get everything you want and need, to like just being cocky or a know-it-all, you know? It's just a thin line. You know, it's probably a thick line, but it becomes thin when we're not aware of it. You know, when we're not aware of our own ways we are affecting this line. We make the line thin, you feel me? So, you know, by stunting our growth and appearing that we got everything under control when we know we don't. So like, I know that personally, I'm learning now that personally, whenever I'm missing some things, whenever I feel, you know, like there could be things I need to work on, like be vulnerable and just let the people I know, let the people I'm working with know, let the people I know. Let it be shown. Like, don't hide it, don't ignore it, don't run from it. Wear my flaws on my sleeves, so that way I will always be aware that I need to work on some things, and that the people in my life will always be aware that I need to work on some things, and that way I can always be, I will always be available to be helped out, you know. Because if I'm acting like everything is all good and everything perfect, whenever I need help, you know, in that desperate time where, you know, my ego pushes me to be like, okay, this is the final straw, ask for help, I might not be able to get the help because people probably gonna look at me like, no, you got it, big bro, like, you good, you know. And so I shouldn't have to wait till a desperate time, you feel me? I should be conditioning myself. This is something I want to work on now, you feel me? I want to work on accepting my flaws and allowing help to be offered, you know. Because I'm realizing, like, sometimes my ideas aren't always the best. I don't always know what to do, you know. I don't always have the best idea for things, you know. I don't always have the best setup. You know, I'm gonna put my best foot forward. I'm gonna put my best effort to work. But sometimes a little criticism, a little feedback, a little advice and ideas from others would be helpful. And I need to be open to that. You feel me? And that's a part of accepting my flaws, being open to feedback and criticism and advice and ideas from others. You feel me? So I need to accept my whole self, accept what I'm good at, accept what I'm not, so that when people give me feedback, I'm not like on the defense. When people criticize, I'm not on the defense. I'm open to it because I need it to grow. When people give me advice, I'm open to it. It depends on the advice thing. That advice thing is like, it depends who I'm a little wary about exactly who I take advice from, but still be open. You know, don't shut people down, especially people I'm working with or working alongside or working for, or you know, people that's in my life. Like, sometimes just be open and to different perspectives, you feel me? So like, that's something I need to work on personally. I have the struggle of always wanting to be right, always wanting to be correct, and I'm learning how to never appear to be perfect, the people don't connect with that. We all have flaws. So if I appear to be perfect, then I'm kind of putting myself above, putting myself on a pedestal, and people can't see me eye to eye that way. And I want to be seen eye to eye. I want to always be seen human to human, man to man, man to woman. I want to always know that we can always see things, we can always see each other for who we are, and I notice that I may come off like that sometimes. I may come off like everything is, all good. I don't have no flaws. Everything is perfect. I got it. It's whatever. I don't need help. I don't need to depend on nobody, which I don't think is a bad thing. Like, I don't really want to depend on anybody, but the vibration doesn't have to come off egotistical. You feel me? The vibration doesn't have to come off like I don't care about what you think or say. Depending on if it's like super negative or something, but sometimes just caring about what people say, how they feel, and how they see things is okay too. You feel me? So I'm learning that, and appearing perfect sometimes doesn't allow me to resemble these type of qualities of compassion or empathy, because people can't connect with that. How can I connect with someone who appears to be perfect, when most of us are insecure or need to work on our self-esteem? So if someone is appearing to be perfect, then there's a disconnect, because I need to work on myself, and this person's acting like they don't need no type of work, off the rip. So like, that is a part of that idea of accepting my flaws and wearing them allows me to present myself as who I actually am, and it allows people to connect with me on a eye-to-eye basis. You feel me? Because most of us need to work on ourselves, and if I present myself as my work is done, then that's a disconnect. You feel me? So it reminds me of like, I used to sing on the train, and I used to make music and poems and projects with JC, and I always self-reflect, but sometimes it's like, I don't care, like, this is how I am, but that's how I used to be. And now it's like, I want to be flexible, I want to be free, I want to be always ready to evolve and change, and accommodate and become flexible enough. I want to be able to always accommodate and adapt to what I need to be in order to achieve something, to achieve a specific project or do a certain thing. I don't want to be just rigid, like, this is the way I am, whatever. But I remember used to being like that, like, oh, this is the way I am, whatever. And I was wondering, like, how does it feel, to work with me, And I wanna probably get JC on the podcast, because he probably will have a different perspective of how I came off. I wonder if I came off to him as, this guy who always knew what was right and da-da-da-da, and how did he feel about that? Because relationships is everything. Relationships is probably one of the most important aspects of success. People say it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I like to say it's not who you know, it's how you know them. Because the impression you leave on them, the rapport you have, can they write you a resume? Can they write you a recommendation? Can they back you as if they appreciated you, they had good times with you, you resembled yourself in memorable qualities that were positive, they don't have too much negative memories of you and stuff like that. Like, it's how you know them. So I wonder, I wanna bring JC on the podcast, one of these episodes, and get his feedback on how it was to work with Quindell, because You know, I'm not sure if working with me is always the easiest thing to do. You know, so, but as I work on myself, I want to make working with me a positive experience. You know, I want to fill people up with positive energy, inspiration, motivation. You know, and not in an egotistical way. You know, in a way that allows them to grow and allow me to grow as well. So, and that's a part of me criticizing myself because I need to work on some things. So that's what this is. I have flaws, and I'm far from perfect, but accepting myself for who I am helps me work well with those who I work with. This is Quindell Evans, BluePoetTree.com. If you don't know, you're about to know right now. You're about to learn. Education. Let's go.